Welcome to Toronto Radio. Through our conversations, we discover the holy and the art. The camera's there, by the way.
Oh, I'm looking at you. I'm locked in.
Okay, I appreciate that about you. Okay, try again. Welcome to Toronto Radio. Through our conversations, we discover the holy and the ordinary. Look for moments of grace and peace, and redefine what we're talking about when we talk about faith. Hey, Lillian.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been. It's been a hot minute.
Like a long time.
I'm so glad you're back on the podcast today. So we were chatting about what a success our Earth Day worship celebration was. And for those that joined on the live stream, hi, thank you.
That was probably not as exciting for you as it was.
Probably, they couldn't really see what was happening because what we did is, by we, I mean you.
Yeah.
She set up prayer stations. And then if you were watching the live stream, you saw me playing for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Which was I thought,
artful, meditative.
Thank you. I try, one tries. But tell us about that. Because I will say the nursery school kids brought my kiddo in and she got to I think color a flower, and it was really, really cute. Yeah. So that was my experience of me playing, but also watching her and being like, oh, it's so cute. To me, the real hit was the flowers. But
yeah. Well, that's because you were inside.
That's what I got to see.
Everything that was outside.
Tell the people all the things.
I am a big proponent of spicing things up a little every once in a while in church. And so we have tried in the past to have intergenerational worship service. It's something that we're trying to figure out how our community best has time together across all generations, because typically church schools, nurseries, all church or the entirety of worship, and then church school kids will typically leave after the message for all ages. And so we want to be able to have these opportunities for people of all ages to get together and be faithful together and spend time together, because there are so few kind of intergenerational spaces in our culture.
Yeah.
So being able to have a intergenerational worship service I was like, okay, we're going to do this. And the last time there was a lot of yapping with all the love in my heart. We weren't like, I'm really going to go for it. And so this time I was like, I think it'd be really fun to have different prayer stations where you can kind of do an activity here or there. And so as Earth Day was approaching, I was like, mind meld. This is my perfect opportunity to have intergenerational worship, have a good focus point for all of the different stations. And then I was like, okay, what stations do these need to be? So we had one that was more creative, because we don't talk about it that much, but our community is art is very important.
Huge.
Music, but also visual arts. Ed obviously is creative, an artist, creative guy, does his not sculptures, but they're painting sculptures.
Painting collages, yeah.
They read as
Charcoals.
kind of sculpture-y to me.
If you want to learn more, watch our film. It's on our YouTube channel.
It's really lovely. And so I made a prayer garden, which was big old piece of paper, and so many paper flowers that were individually cut out piece by piece.
They're pretty great.
Thank you to many of them were cut out by me, and then I did have friends who were like, do you want to hang out? And I went, I need to cut out all these paper flowers. And they went, is that your excuse? Because we can help you cut out all those paper flowers.
Oh, good friend.
So shout out to my friends for help getting out some of those paper flowers.
Thanks, guys.
And so we had people decorate either with words or drawings these kind of prayers. So some of them had written prayers on them. Some of them had words like love, kindness, family, and some of them had beautiful and artful drawings from our little ones. And we put those all together on this green piece of paper that said something like, what prayers are blooming all around us? Except blooming kind of got covered. It was an uneven distribution, but it was a strong show. And it was just so sweet to be able to have people of all ages, because drawing is something that anyone can do.
Totally.
And then outside, which I don't know if you were aware of the weather in Connecticut on April 19th, but it wasn't great. And yet we went outside.
People persevered. They were
But
determined.
I had a backup activity planned.
Did you?
I had a crash out on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where I went, it's going to rain on Sunday. We're not going to be able to go outside. People are like, yeah, it's going to be pouring on Sunday. You're not going to be able to go outside.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to come up with a backup activity. I like went to the store, bought the like materials for this backup activity. I was like, okay, I've got it all planned out. I brought it intending to do it. And when I got there, it wasn't raining super hard. And everyone's like, we're still doing the worms, right? And I was like, we're doing the worms. Okay.
The worms.
Like, I was fully like, we're not doing these because it's going to be raining. We're going to drown these worms.
The draw. I mean,
so we did have a compost barrel full of worms, which were artfully and lovingly spread as we, children of God, are spread around the world. No, kind of as a way of kind of connecting to the earth and appreciating all of God's creatures. These worms were spread around the garden outside. And then there was a labyrinth that was in chalk that was mostly covered by our overhang that people walked. And a labyrinth, if you have not seen one, it's not a maze. There's one way in, one way out, and it's a meditative practice that you can kind of let yourself either reflect on something specific or let your mind relax, and you walk this path all the way to the center and then all the way back out.
this is my question about labyrinths.
Yeah.
And I always get stuck on this. I kind of like hyperfixate on this question, which is if you go back out the way you came, how do multiple people walk on them? And then if there's multiple people on them, how do you not only worry about when you're going to run into each other? I think about this too much when I think about labyrinths.
So some people are like, I strongly prefer to only walk labyrinths when I'm the only person there. Yeah. And then you just like go at a time that like there's less people.
Yeah, okay.
If there's one near you. Or you could like go last. But then you're still like running into people.
Yeah.
Usually the polite thing to do is you're kind of like either looking down at your feet or in the path in front of you or kind of around you. And when you like bump into another person, you just kind of like shift to the side. Yeah. And they like kind of walk. We kind of like, yeah. It's kind of like when you're like doing like a 1-lane road and one person kind of like pulls over and the other one like drives past and then you like get back on the road.
Familiar.
Yeah.
I guess my thing is, I have actually spent multiple, because every time someone brings up a labyrinth, I have these thoughts.
Yeah.
My question is, why do we not design a one direction labyrinth? So that there is an in and you like maybe here. So then you do the first like semicircle of it. You get to the middle, you can pause.
And then you like go out
and then you
a
go
different
out the
way.
other semicircle.
So I don't know enough about labyrinths to be able to tell you.
Are there any labyrinth experts out there, friends?
My aunt.
I believe this. I totally. Of course you.
My aunt like runs like labyrinth workshops. So I could text her.
Could you ask her, and we'll have a follow up next week on the podcast, because I have questions about labyrinths. So which is why I legitimately never walked one, because it
stresses you out. So like as a meditative practice,
I'm high strung.
You can definitely like do one like alone, like when there's not. You could also do a finger labyrinth. That's like tracing a labyrinth with your finger.
That's neat.
It's a little more approachable if you're. But I think to me, there's this idea of like the labyrinth is the extended metaphor for life. And so like as you're walking, like sometimes your path mirrors someone else for a while and then they turn away and you turn a different direction.
Yeah.
But then like you'll come back together and you'll like pass each other and you'll go, wow, just like in us, me too, so in life. That, yeah. And I'll like get in my head and I'll be like, I'm walking like in and out of like the shadows, in and out of the rain, just like in life, we all walk through our seasons of it, you know.
But this is exactly what I'm saying. Totally agree. And I like the idea of doing it with other people.
But you don't have to be like,
I don't want to spend the whole time making sure I'm not inconveniencing someone else's prayer experience, I think is part of it. And also being pulled out of my, like.
Yeah, because you're like thinking about.
Yeah, because I'm picturing like if you have two joined semicircles as a design of a labyrinth, that you would like draw near somebody as you like come to the same
center.
to the center of the line, and like
we can see if there's any designs like that.
would you ask your aunt about that?
Yeah, I'll
or we have discovered something new here that we could implement.
You could even just like have like a little wibbly wobbly like interwovenness.
Yeah, you could do it so that you're like
they're
the
kind of
circles.
like side by side.
Yeah, I don't know if that works, but like
yeah,
this is a terrifying look into my brain, but it's fine.
Yeah, you know,
this is very interesting. But I feel like because I like the concept of them. And I like the intention of like you're in prayer with other people,
or sometimes by yourself,
You know, I like all these things.
Yeah,
these are all very positive. I'm very into it. I think it's very cool, but it's just I get stuck with the actual like when the rubber meets the road or the sneakers meet the labyrinth.
Because then there's also sometimes where you're like, everyone's gonna be looking at me. Yeah. It's sometimes hard to like be contemplative in front of other people because then there's part of your brain that's like really trying to be contemplative. Yeah. And then another part of your brain that's like, am I contemplating more than the person next to me or less than the person next to me?
What are my eyebrows doing as I'm contemplating? What am I doing with my hands? We were just discussing museum hands before we started recording because I took my almost 4-year-old to the museum here in Greenwich, and she was a very good museum buddy. There was not even a whisper of even attempting to touch anything. She wasn't even trying. I didn't have to do a last minute hand grabbing.
I sometimes am like, should I touch that?
I mean, we collectively were looking at stuff going,
that looks very touchable.
That's very touchable. We're going to be real. We talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was part of the dialogue. But I was like, I mean, I wonder, you know, we're look what we had lots of discussion about texture.
As someone who's been to museums but also worked at museums, oh my gosh,
so much. But she was a very good museum buddy. We were discussing museum hands. It's like you know, pulling your hands behind your back, contemplating what's going on.
This is totally off topic. Have you been to the cloisters? The Met cloisters. I went the other week. There is a exhibit about like love and marriage and early Christian stuff. And
cool.
I have like not much to say other than actually the one thing. So for the people who don't know the Met cloisters, they're like an offshoot of. I'm like totally gonna get all of this information.
I think they're owned by the
Met.
Yeah,
but they're
museum
far enough away that it's like kind of a pain in the butt to get to. But it's absolutely beautiful, and it's a lot of like Middle Ages stuff.
I know somebody that's gonna have things to say about you.
I'm the wrong person to ask. But there's a lot of Jesus imagery. There's a lot of Mary imagery. There's a lot of religious art.
Yes.
And it's a fascinating place to go, especially like, you know, as a pastor and like with like religious studies people, it's like always fascinating to be like, which like different pieces are different people drawn to and for what reasons.
Did you guys take a field trip there when you were in grad school?
No.
Were you in seminary? So
I've exclusively been there with friends and on dates. So the 2 times I've been.
Very you. I like that very much. I have to tell you a funny story. So we went to the same graduate school, but we were slightly different programs, obviously, because I'm a musician, but I was part of what's called the Institute of Sacred Music. And
this would be an ISM trip.
This is an ISM trip. So the Institute of Sacred Music, even though it has the word music in the title, is half musicians. So it is choral conductors and organists, pretty much. And the other half are seminary students who apply to get in and who wish to, and then apply. And then, so it's made up as sort of like half and half. We get paired up for our final project, blah, blah, blah. So they do this thing. So it's a 2-year program for the musicians. And so they orient it by that. Yeah. So 1 year is an international trip and 1 year is a, quote, domestic trip. Our domestic trip, my year, was to New York. I'm backing up from the microphone so I can yell about it. Was New York City.
Very domestic.
I was like, guys, it's an hour. Really?
It's more than an hour, especially from New Haven. You have to get all the way down here. Get back up in the subway.
That's when we went to the cloisters for like our domestic I was like, Martin, come on, man.
We could just do that
I mean,
for
it was,
fun.
don't get
It's
me wrong.
beautiful, yeah.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
We did we did the cloisters, we did a whole thing, and then we had like a boat thing.
Yeah, it's like weirdly,
It was a great time.
yeah, like gorgeous up there.
It was gorgeous, but it was also,
But also you're like
I mean, we could have gone
a little further.
a little further. I feel like push it a little further. It was a great time, but that's my memory of
the Met Cloisters.
one of the times I went to the cloisters was with them and still being cranky about the fact that we were like, really?
But that's my museum.
Half of us are there like once a month at least. That being said, if you have not been to the cloisters, please do. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
It's like elevated.
And you get a lot of, I was talking to someone the other day, like I think that different depictions and different like ways over time that people have depicted Christ and Mary are like very fascinating to me, because you know it's all very specific to the time and place it's being created.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, going around, because I went back around Easter-ish, give or take.
Okay.
And like looking at all of because it's so much like crucifixion or like Jesus dying imagery.
Sure.
And it's like, it's very interesting to like be in that headspace of like, okay, it's like Holy Week coming up, or Holy Week just happened. I totally forget when this happened. And like seeing all of these different depictions and interpretations, because everything is an interpretation of like, what was it like for these people to watch this suffering? Or like, what was it like to, I don't know, or like humanizing different characters in these stories. I always love any depictions of Mary that she like looks like a kid, because I feel like it's easy to be, it's easy to be like, oh, Mary the mom, like,
yeah, just like,
but like
super holy.
The idea of like losing your 30-year-old son and also you're like 45.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, I remember when I was younger, like being like, wait, Mary was there? Because in my brain, like, he's an adult man. Like, she would have been.
She's ancient.
She would have been like in my brain.
Yeah.
It's like the way I was raised. And I was, like, she would have been in her 70s or her 80s if you've been 30. And my brain was like, well, no, bad math, but you know what I'm saying. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, what?
And like, not only there, but also like,
just basic math.
Like, still young. But
yeah. 30's not that old, guys.
Oh, I was talking about Mary.
I mean, neither was she.
Yeah, neither was she. Yeah.
Neither was she.
And so it's this idea of like, being able to witness other people's interpretation of these figures and these experiences is just like a fun thing to be able to.
This brings us somewhere interesting.
Yeah.
Which is that I can't remember when I heard this. I think it was either in my early Christianity class in undergrad or in some disc school class I took, but that culture's interpretation of who God is very much dependent on like the socioeconomic lifestyle of the people depicting God. I said that in a really crazy way. But basically, like, if life is really, really hard and like the crops are failing and there's a lot of violence and God is a vengeful God and if everything's peaceful and abundant, then God is this like, then the depictions of God then reflect a loving, more like parental figure.
And I think we're getting like that kind of line of the depictions of God by people.
Yes.
Tell you way more about people than they do about God.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get to.
And like, for instance, white Jesus. That tells you way more about the people making the art and the people who have the money to commission this artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Than about what Jesus actually looked like.
Right.
You also, and I'm going to bungle this so bad, but we can have, at some point in time, maybe we can have my fiance come back on and talk about depictions of Jesus in art, because that's like one thing that her PhD is going to be in.
Oh, we're going.
But you'll see these switches of early Christ followers depicting Christ in this kind of like boyish way, reminiscent more of like Dionysus. And then slowly he becomes more this like he grows a beard. But like early depictions of Christ, like there's this transformation of like, what do we need him to be for us?
Yeah.
And therefore, like, what are we putting on his figure, whether it's like depicting him more as a shepherd or more as a king, is do we need a shepherd or do we need a king? And so you have all of these like, and then culture to culture, like what race is Jesus, or like how conventionally attractive is Jesus, or like how with what, like what are we putting on him?
Yeah.
And it says, so like I've seen depictions of one of my like favorite pieces of artwork that I saw once, and like every single time I like think about it again, I have to like do a full Google deep dive of like depiction but it's this beautiful depiction of like, I think it's post resurrection Christ in this like conversational thing, and Christ is depicted as this woman in this red dress, but it's Christ because she has the stigmata in her hands. And so it's this like very slight imagery where if you didn't know it was a like Christ resurrected having dinner with disciples, it like looks kind of like this like time in this like grungy bar with like, but then like as you look at the stigmata, you're like, oh, like this is, and it's, and people are way less likely to depict Jesus as a woman, or to depict Jesus as something other than white, or like a little tan. But I think that to me, it's always like Jesus is not a masculine figure.
Okay.
Jesus is a very feminine figure and like goes counter to so many ideas of what it is to be a man in like caring, empathy, generosity, speaking to women, getting killed, like letting himself be tortured and killed is like not a manly thing to do.
Interesting.
And so there is this, and so you have times where like Jesus plays with gender in this way where like Jesus is depicted as like a mother hen or like a mother, like a maternal figure as well. Going back to the Met exhibit, there's a lot of depictions of like Christ dying, like gave birth to the salvation of the human race. And so like there's this idea of like Christ as a like delivering figure. And then you have like the weird like, oh, so like feeding of the body, is that like also a maternal thing? And so like you get all of these like anyway.
Yeah.
Gender and Jesus is a fascinating, and depictions
really
of Christ. Yeah. So
yeah.
it says way more about people and what they need. And I think that it's when there's like one group of people that's like, no, this is what Jesus looks like, and we know.
Yeah. I mean, anytime someone says we know,
we know, like that's, or like any depiction of Christ is an interpretation, and therefore if someone is interpreting Christ in some way, that's like,
it's showing what they need to get your point, right?
So
yeah, I think that's fascinating. And I think that's kind of the, not to bring it all together, but that's kind of the basis of faith, right? Like to me at least, and why I really like being part of this community is like, you're not going to hear like, well, we know. It's more like, well, here's an interpretation and here's a translation of this, and what can we find in it that, feels real or honest or true to the kind of life that we're all striving to live, to be a force for good with God and beyond.
And if we try to bring it back to Earth Day,
do it.
I'm like, okay, let's see if we can tie this of like, I think to so many people, witnessing God in creation feels very authentic.
For sure.
And feels more authentic than like trying to construct an idea of God outside of this like tangible lifeblood of the world. And so like, although in our prayer stations we didn't have like a sermon where we talked about blah blah blah, the idea of these prayer stations is like, no matter where you are going, God is there and God is with you, whether you can see it or understand it or know what God looks like or don't know what God looks like or don't know if you really like how you conceptualize a divinity. If you're like, I don't know, like for so many people, the earth and protecting the earth and caring for creation is a huge part of what it means to get closer to what is holy and what is sacred.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's...
Have fun titling this episode.
Oh my goodness. Wow, guys. But I mean, not to make it like about us at Round Hill, but I feel like that was the reason that our Force for Good logo has a little plant. And also, I don't know if you guys read too much into this, but the force word is really strong. And the imagery is that the plant is actually coming up through a crack in concrete.
Oh, I'll have to look at the logo again.
Speaking of which, I need to get you a hoodie.
I do need a hoodie.
So we can all be matching. I'll get Heather one too. Any hoosies. And with that,
thank you.
I'm just going to title it, Lillian Needs a Hoodie.
Then they'll have to listen all the way to the end to find out.
Will Lillian get a hoodie? Guys, we were so grateful to you. Thank you, Lillian, for joining us. Round Hill Radio is brought to you by the friends and members of Round Hill Community Church. For more information, please visit roundhillradio.org.